everybody, John here, and it is July the 25th. It's been a while since I've been into these hives here, so I thought I'd kind of give you an update about this hive. This is my A hive, and I'm going to go through it here. It's been hot. It's been very hot the last few weeks. The rain's kind of slowed down, and I'm sure that the flowers and stuff are producing less at the moment. It may be going into kind of a dearth here a little bit, but they still are active and moving. But this is the hive that on March the 26th, I emptied this hive before that, and on the 26th of March, my C hive over here was getting ready to swarm. So I did a walk-away split, and I put the queen from that hive, and I put she was on a bar brood, and I put 3 bars of brood in here, and I put about 3 or 4 bars of combs of honey and pollen and so forth. So she was able to start her own hive here, and it kept the other hive from swarming, because she was getting ready to leave that hive within a week. The weather was getting bad, so I decided to go ahead. I found her and move her over into this hive. After that, in 2 months, she was able to build this hive up enough that she swarmed again. She swarmed, I guess I should say, the first time actually. I prevented her from it the first time. And in 2 months she swarmed, and that was would have been about May the 26th or so, somewhere in that range. She swarmed, and then a week later, this hive swarmed again. So it had a primary swarm and then a secondary cast swarm. And that left this hive virtually, there was hardly any bees in here. There was about maybe, if that, a third of the bees left. So I was really concerned. I didn't know if they were going to be able to build back up in time here, because like I say, they was getting very low on numbers of bees. So again, March 26th, May 26th, first swarm. Second cast was about a week later, in 1st of July, June, I'm sorry. And anyway, I'm opening it up here again, and for the longest time I didn't think they were going to have any young ones. I didn't see. They used up all their bees. Were hatching out, and then a week or so ago I checked on them, and I realized that the queen did make it back from her virgin flight. So this swarm ended up having some young ones, and here they are today. This little bar's got quite a few little babies on it, some larvae and brood. So the queen did come back, and she started laying again, so everything looks good here. Very pleased, because I was really afraid that they were going to maybe not make it. Their numbers here are still fairly low. I've only got about a little over half to 2/3 of the hive open with bars. I can act 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 16 bars is all that I've got here. Because when they reduced in size like that, I kind of condensed the hive so that they wouldn't have so much to try to defend. And a week or two ago when I was in it here, They did not have a whole lot of honey or pollen, really. I mean, it's like when the two swarms left, they took everything. Here's an empty bar that I put in, trying to get them to build comb, and that's all they really built. There's a little bit of nectar in there, a couple bees on it. So I'm busy talking and not really looking, but the queen has laid eggs, so we know there's a queen in here. That's a good thing. She's a young new queen. They have built a little bit of comb. They were already started building this before they swarmed. Don't look like they've really gotten too carried away building new comb, because again, they just haven't had the numbers, and they didn't have young baby bees. And from what I've read and so forth, it takes really the younger bees are the best wax producers and comb builders. They're made to build wax. The old bees can do it too, but like I say, it just works better for the younger bees. There is not much honey at all here, or nectar, so I will have to kind of pay attention. Here's a couple of the old queen cells that they've started tearing down here. A queen cup. Hopefully they won't even try to do anything with them again this year, because like I say, it's getting ready to be August, so they should really start working on trying to get enough supplies, enough honey and so forth to make it through to the winter here. They are pretty depleted here. I just saw only 2 frames of brood here so far. Everything else here has got a little bit of nectar in it, hardly any honey. And they're not getting too carried away worrying about me here, because there just really isn't a whole heck of a lot of extra bees in here. I will start watching this. They do have enough comb. So the comb's already made. They just need to fill it up. Get some more pollen in here. And more nectar, so they can turn that into honey to make it through the winter. I've kind of decided I'd rather not feed sugar water if I don't have to. There's a lot of nectar in there that they're working on, and they have capped a little bit of honey, but if you can see that good or not. But just so that they do make it through the winter, I will have to watch this hive. And worst case scenario, I might put a feeder in here to give them some feed. Here's a bunch of the old queen cells that hatched out, and like I say, they had enough that they did make 2 swarms. Interesting looking little queen cells there. And again, this was all comb. This was brand new comb that was built after I moved did the walkaway split and moved the queen over here. So they started actually building comb in April, which I mean, they were really getting at it, I guess, there. Yeah, I had to stop the video just for a minute here because I have a theory of what I think happened to this here hive. I look back at episode 35, and that's where the first swarm left, and I videoed going through the whole top bar hive there. And I noticed something that I had two sets of queen cells. This hive has 3 entrance holes in the middle of the long side there, and on one end of the hive I had 4 or 5 queen cells that were capped, and on the other end of the hive I had some queen cells, 4 or 5 again maybe, that were almost capped. You know, they were a little bit behind in development. And it's funny to me, but the queen for some reason laid a bunch of queen's eggs, cell eggs, etc. on one end, and then went to the other end and did the same thing. And I think the problem that I had, and what I actually caused, when I put the walkaway split in there, I was wanting them to build some more comb, so I would alternate empty bars. And in some spots I might have left 2 bars and too big of a gap. So the queen was actually laying it really across the whole hive, trying to lay new worker brood and drone brood. So for some strange reason, she developed 2 different sets of queen cells at each end of the hive. And one of them matured a little earlier, and I think they left. And then again, like I said, the second cast came off of it a week or so later. And that is probably the reason why I'm not going to probably get any honey off of this hive this year, because it's such a small quantity of bees in there at the moment, and I don't think that they will build up. So next time I probably won't leave that big of gaps. And if I do see I've never seen them split their queen cells up so far apart. If that would happen again in the future, I would probably get rid of some of them on one end, or if nothing else, move them all closer together. So let the queen decide who's going to be left. Anyway, back to the video. Learning experiences. So, out of these 16 bars, I really only see 2 or 3 of them that have a brood being hatched and raised. So the queen's been back for a little bit. Hopefully she'll start making a few more. But it really won't be long till they start to, probably here in August or so maybe. I'm not for sure on the date, September. They'll be making the wintertime bees. So the harvesters really need to be bringing in as much as they can right now. There is a little bit more activity out front. Got a little bearding, just a tiny little bit of bearding. So there's enough bees in here that they're getting warm enough on this hot day that they are sitting outside. But like I say, she's still pretty low in numbers. I would say this is about the size of it whenever I moved them over here when I did the walkaway split. So anyway, they're getting a little cantankerous with me now. I'm sitting down here breathing and talking on them. So I'm going to put this back together. I would have to, this was my biggest concern of the year here. I was afraid that I might actually lose a hive. So far though, they're hanging in there, and if they make it, that'll be almost going on 3 years now, and I've been blessed to not lose a hive yet. I've lost a few for swarming, but that's not a problem. So anyway, again, thank you for watching. I'll see what comes after this. I still haven't harvested any honey yet. They were just still trying to cap it, and I'll probably in the next week or so get in there and see where I stand, and maybe take some bars of honey out and maybe reduce the hives a little bit for them, so they don't have to protect so much going into the dearth and winter, fall and winter here. So again, thanks for watching. Have a good day, and God bless you all.